in our age group, when you out here dating again over 50, you gonna run into a lot of women. And I was counseling a guy this week, and he was saying, man, the women out here are just big.
Who is out of shape or overweight is a woman who does not respect herself. She does not love herself. She loves food more than her health. And she is most likely in pain and she is using food to cope with how she feels. A lot of you guys were triggered by my last video, and I'm glad, because you cannot have a relationship with someone that you don't have with yourself. You cannot love somebody more or better than you love yourself. Everything starts with yourself. I respect myself. Therefore, I have the discipline to go to the gym and to work out. I care about how I look. So therefore, I will go to the gym and make sure I work out.
So I looked at the comments, and the comments section is really what had me kind of tripping out. Somebody said, it's giving I got left for a big girl. And she replied to that. But then, a lot of them were like this. Your obsession with bigger women is honestly concerning. It sounds like you might be dealing with some unresolved issues, maybe rooted in your own experiences growing up, blah, 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 blah. Somebody, gluttony and obesity are not the same. Girl, loving yourself has nothing to do with body type. While you in the gym, your man messing with a big girl, sure. Uh, it was the comments. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. I thought the excuse fairy was coming on out here hard. Nah, some women just have PCOS and health issues, hormonal issues, thyroid issues, and I'm going to get to the facts on some of that in a moment. And the reason why I wanted to bring it up, and props to her, y'all see her name is Daisha Grady. Go give her a follow. Go check out her TikTok. She made one about church women and women in church eating or something like that. And I replied to her, I was like, yeah, I don't think they're going to invite you to the women's prayer breakfast. That's for sure. And so, but it made me think. And I'll tell one more before I hand it over to y'all. I was on one of the Facebook groups, and it was some guy put up there a woman with what do they call it, a fupa, and so it was a picture of a woman with her fupa, and it had a circle going through it and said something like, "I don't care what y'all say, this is a turnoff to me." So now I'm in again, checking out the comments. You guys, I ain't gonna lie, 9 out of 10 comments were brothers mostly. I'll say brothers and some Latino men saying, I don't know what you're talking about, man. I love that. Oh, that just means the puss is good. Oh, you just got to lift it up and go in. And I'm just like, wow, is this where the game is at today? And so I put on there, hey, I just expect a woman to give me what I'm trying to give her. If I'm an in-shape man, I expect her to be trying to be in shape. So then a woman responded to me and said, yeah, but you showing up with an 8-pack, so what does that mean for the rest of us? And then I replied back, for me, what's important is that a woman is trying. As a 55-year-old man, I know it's not easy, but I at least want that woman to be putting in the effort, especially if she is seductive. Even if she's putting in some effort and seductive, I can work with that. And so I was thinking, in our age group, when you out here dating again over 50, you gonna run into a lot of women. And I was counseling a guy this week, and he was saying, man, the women out here are just big. And I don't want a woman as big as I am. So in you guys' experience, what do you think?
Go ahead, Ed.
Yeah, yeah, because that drives me nuts. A big woman shows me her laziness. She's not willing to try and do anything. And I'm like the guy that made that comment before. I just don't like it. I don't like it. And I figured I was a big guy and I came down in weight and it was hard. It took a lot of work and effort. And if you're not willing to put in that work and effort for yourself, then how can you ever put that work and effort in for me?
Mm.
No, no. So I agree with that. And you're attracted to what you're attracted to. I think now today these females have came to the conclusion they don't have to do anything because of Pookie and the Ray Ray is going to like it. But they always want these high value men. Sorry, high value men don't want no pooch pocket or pudgy, whatever you want to call that booty in the front. Men don't want that. Well, I don't want that, and I know a lot of other men that don't want that. Huh, man, this is just frustrating topic to me because, man, they call me egotistical and all type of stuff for having a standard.
Derek?
I don't know. I guess it's in the eye of the beholder. I'm not sure what this particular woman looks like. I don't mind a little weight. I'm not looking. I like curves. I like something that's proportionate. I like a thin waist, a thinner waist, some bigger hips, and broad shoulders or breast size or whatever. Hey, I'm an ass man, so with ass you're gonna get some thighs. So I'm okay with that. I'm not looking for somebody to be so robust and this, that, and the other. And when they lay on me, I can't breathe. I'm not looking for anything like that. I like something to hold on to. I like a little meat on the bones. Again, it's got to be shapely. Not something that is you moving around and it's still in the same spot that you just left. I'm not talking about something like that, but I like a little meat. Hey, they don't have to be necessarily athletic, but again, I like a little meat. A little meat.
Okay, so quantify a little meat then, because it sounds like Eddie is more okay. Eddie, what's your ideal of a little meat, or how? I know y'all aren't really big
Like
fitness guys, so I don't want to give body fat percentage, but give me
well,
somebody as an example.
okay, like a tailored suit. You got to have that European cut. You know what I'm saying? Like a
An hourglass.
exactly. You still got to be shapely, but I don't want the lumps and bumps to overwhelm what God has already gave you that shape. Some women just don't care. Hell, they walk outside with bonnets on their head.
Yeah, no. I mean, you got to have some pride in yourself, and here's for me, it's a matter of having the attitude that is attractive to me more so than the body, and but again, the body's got to be something that I can be attracted to. It's got to first get my attention and hold my attention. When I'm saying, oh man, I like to wake up in the morning like, dang, I like to see you naked and chase you around and do this and do that, throw you up against something, not break it, but you know what I'm saying? Do what I got to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, it's got to be proportioned. I like the hourglass shape. I'm not a person that wants us too small or big. It's got to have some proportions to it. Need them hips.
Well, you got to be careful when you say about the attitude, because a lot of these big girls have their attitude is like they're a 10 all day long. So you
No. It's got to be appropriate. Let's be factual here. Oh, I'm a 10,
good
girl.
point.
Fix your bonnet.
Good point. Good point, Eddie, because that was
Yes,
actually
sir.
something that the guy mentioned to me. He said his problem is that a lot of the women that he's running into two things. Either one, the woman does have a considerable amount of weight, but she's acting as though she's still in her prime, like when she was coming out of high school or in college. And it's like, you're not that woman anymore. And secondly, the women that aren't like that, that have kept their bodies in shape, well, they just got an ego that's extremely out to here, because they look at it like, oh, I know. And let's just say, if you're in an ethnicity, I'm not going to call either one of them out, but if you're in an ethnicity where you already know you are, let's say, but better than average in terms of body fat percentage, you're the petite one. You're the one when you walk in there, everybody's like, girl, you still keeping yourself together. He was noting that they tend to be the ones that really, really think they all of that.
I don't know. I guess I don't. For me, I'm not gonna waste my time telling somebody they got to go into the gym and do this and do that. If I see what I like what I see. I'm good. I'm not gonna sit here and say change your lifestyle for this and this. Look, be happy with who you are, and if I like who you are, I'm gonna be with who you are. That's it. I'm not in the game to change somebody. It's like, look, we either gonna mesh or we not. I don't have time for the rest of that stuff. I think I keep talking about this. What is it? Peace. I ain't got time for it.
Exactly. Like you gotta have that attraction first. Like I said, your standards. Right. I'm not even gonna go pick a fat chick. I was married to a fat. Well, she wasn't fat when I married her, but then she had that hourglass figure. Yeah. But then over the years, oh man, I shouldn't say this, but I don't care. She blew up like a balloon, but she still had the shape. It was just bigger. The hourglass was still there, but she was just her weight was more. So if you started off at 150, now it's probably about you triple that, about 350, 400. Monstrous. I shouldn't have said that.
You said 350, 450?
Hey, that's what I feel.
Oh, okay.
No, you said that's a little bit too much for you, huh, Derek?
Oh yeah. I can't breathe. I can't breathe.
Well, okay, but Derek, now that's where I was going to go with it, because you talked about, and I'm going to paraphrase a bit on, how is that woman going to carry herself, how she is? Because as a man who, if I show up in shape, I found that a lot of women will start, basically they're getting their head about their size long before I ever say anything, because I am looking at some other factors in there. Now, if I was 25 out in the game, I may be a little bit more stringent on, I want a certain size if I'm presenting myself a certain way. But again, in my mid 50s, I'm not like that. I'm saying the same thing. What else do you have to offer? But it's so funny to watch women immediately. And for my married men that are listening, they really can relate. How many married men are out there that still can't have sex with their wife because she has to want the lights off? She doesn't feel comfortable getting on top. So even if it's not in your head and you can say all day long, girl, I like your curves. No, that's just mommy weight. We did have X number of kids together. It's still up here because the number of voices that are coming in, shout out to Justin on Dominance Academy, says this all the time. The number of voices that are coming inside of a woman's head are far more than what we have coming in ours. So at that time, when it's time to go ahead and be in bed, if she's not hitting the gym and feeling confident in herself, especially for the wives out there, then it's like, even if I am cool with it, she might have this going on inside her own head. And then what am I to do?
Yeah, but that happens regardless of you going to the gym. I don't know how many women have said same thing. Hey, well, I'm not comfortable with this. I'm like, girl, you fine as I don't know what. What are you talking about? And I mean, not somebody big, somebody that, hey, we've heard the stories even about Halle Berry, how insecure she felt about feeling about herself. It's like, we can't help that internal struggle. But externally, you look fine. I can only build you up when you're in front of me. I can't do nothing when you're away.
It's called self-esteem.
That part.
I think the key thing is a man can't give him self-esteem. And I think especially for the husbands out there, that's usually the expectation. I mean, let's be honest. If it's just a FWB situation, does she really care? I mean, if she's overweight 9 times out of 10, especially if you catch her at the right time, she ovulating and she just want to get stuck like a pig at a luau, then it doesn't make her that much of a difference. But when she goes ahead and, again, if it's with her long-term boyfriend, or especially Eddie, like you said, she knows you met her at a certain weight and now she's bigger. And like you said, Derek, what can you do about it? And then you kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. If you be like, yeah, girl, you did get bigger, she might have attitude. And then if you act like, well, it don't matter, well, you just saying that because I'm your wife or your girlfriend. You can't win. Now, personally, I'm kind of a little different than you, Derek. I'm going to have my standard because I know a brother like you got your standards. So I am going to look at it as, this is how I want you to look, because I know I'm busting my behind in the gym nearly every day. So if I'm going to do that to you, and I think, again, men and women aren't the same, so I don't want to go to that level. But I do know that there are 2 things that women seem to require. Number one is that I show up with a certain amount of money to the table. And while my money is important to them, then their looks are important to me because I'm not looking to get anything from them financially. And secondly, why does a woman, even a 5'1" woman, want a man taller? Because it makes her feel feminine. I'm sure you guys have probably kicked it with some women that were close to 6 feet tall. They didn't say, I'm cool with a dude 5'8". They were like, I still want to be able to put my heels on. I want a man taller. Why? Because it makes them feel feminine. I don't know about y'all, but if you ever in bed with a woman that's your size or bigger, I want to feel masculine. And even though I may be strong enough to bench press 315, I don't want to push the bat up off me. So, because then literally, because, women be real quick to call some dude saucy or whatever. Well, then I might want to say, well, how saucy is a dude that's comfortable being in bed with a woman as big as he is? Is he used to that? As I always say, Iron Father ain't judging nothing. If somebody is, that's their business. But let's be fair with this.